So this is Arthur again, and today I have a 2016 Audi A7 with 73,000 miles. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please consider subscribing. I have a lot of videos of interesting cars and interesting repairs that will really help out my channel grow. As far as the car goes, this car is here because it has a lot of vibration, especially on idle. And usually these cars around 60,000 miles or so, they start having collapsed motor mounts. And if you go farther, like this one, over 70,000 miles, usually the motor mounts are completely torn apart. At least one of them is. So I do have new motor mounts already that owner provided, and I'm gonna go ahead and replace them. I have done this job a few times before. These cars are not that common, so I don't really get to do them too often. I did do a video on it, short video before, and I'm gonna see if I can do a better video on it this time. I did see there's a couple of other videos, but there's some ways of doing this job, and I think this way is the easiest way to do it. Alright, let me show you the parts that I have. Right here are the mounts that I have for this job. It's a 034 Motorsport mounts. They are from FCP Euro. The owner provided the parts himself. As you can see, these are electric. They have an adjustment inside, some kind of a sensor for both sides, and they need to be replaced. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is I'm gonna lift up the car and put it on jack stands, remove the front wheels, and remove the bottom cover if it has one. Okay, so far what I did is I put the car on jack stands. I removed the wheels. I removed this lower part of the fender liner. There's few T25s and a couple of clips, and there's two 10mm right here, and there's this little bracket over here. Goes over axle. That one comes off, and that gives you access to the motor mount bolt, which is from there, this hole. It's a triple square 14, I believe, or 12, I don't remember. Okay, the socket for it is a triple square and 14. Now let's see. I think this one is sitting down. I might have to lift up the engine a little bit to be able to access it, because the motor mount is collapsed and the bolt is all the way down. So I'm gonna go ahead and undo the other one first, then I'll lift up the engine slightly, and then I'll do it again on this side. These bolts are usually pretty tight, so I do have a long extension on it. And I'm also gonna put a big breaker bar on it, because from previous experience I know these bolts are usually pretty tight, unless it was replaced before. And then somehow they're not as tight. Well, let's see. Okay, this one is pretty tight, but it came out. It's good. Okay, this one's turning. It's great. I can probably get this one out. Okay, very good. Now I'll go push the engine up a little bit and I'll do the other side. Okay, now I have the engine up a little bit. I can actually see the screws. It's kind of hard to show you. It's right there inside. So I'm going to try to turn it. Might have to lift it up slightly more to be able to get the screw out, because it is a little bit still touching the wall. So it's pretty tight. Yeah, this one's really tight. Wow. See, this is how they usually are, super tight. I'm gonna try to spray it a little bit with the rust remover. Let's try one more time. Gonna give it another try. Oh, it's pretty tight. Let's try again. Okay, all right, there you go. Finally, that was really tight. This is how I remember them being. I think last one I did was this side as well, was very tight. What does need to come out is this 16 millimeters that go here on the sides, but this subframe bolt is in the way. So I'm gonna undo those bolts, the subframe bolts, and I'll take this 16s off. Then we'll see what comes off. Okay, for next I have the motor supported with this jack. I do have to remove this 4 triple squares bolts over here. I think they're 10s if I'm not mistaken. These are also the connectors for the motor mounts, so you gotta unhook them as well. Yeah, these are T10s, no T10s, M10s I guess, for triple square. Gonna zip those out real quick, and the motor mounts should be free at this point. There's another short M10 here that holds this bracket in place. That gets in the way, gotta undo that one. And another one that holds this wire and harness in place, because we're gonna need all the room we can get. There goes my battery. Now that I have the motor mount undone, I can get the screw out. So it's getting blocked. Let me see if I can fish any of these out. Any of these motor mounts. So it's pretty tight. Maybe any room over here or not. You know what? Actually, this one came out and this one's completely separated. So this one, if I remember correctly, one comes out easily, one doesn't. I don't know which one is which one. Here's the bolt. This bracket is kind of in the way, gotta take it out. It wraps around the motor mount. Out first, this one. Now let's see if this motor mount will come out. I think it should. Let's see why it shouldn't come out. Other than this wiring, it's really okay. Both motor mounts are out. Alright, here are the motor mounts. This is the passenger side. It is pretty cracked up. It's not completely separated yet, but pretty much might as well be. And the driver's side was completely separated, and this is just not doing anything. It'll be like this. Makes sense. Alright, this one lines up fine. Okay, now the passenger side. Let's see what's going on. Okay, almost. Okay, it's a little bit better. Let's see if we can lower this. This. Okay, this kind of looks more like it. Okay. Easy. Now you can lower this a little bit. There you go. It's more like it. Tighten up our pins over here. Pins over here. Now our connectors. They're pop back into place. My audio died at this point, but here I'm just showing that I put everything back. Connectors are connected. I put the bolts on the side of motor mounts back in place, and I'm gonna put everything back at this point on. Alright, the A7 is done. The mounts have been replaced. Both came out pretty easy. The passenger side went in a little bit difficult because the engine got pushed to the side because of the old mounts were so worn that the engine had come down so much that when I was lifting it up, I didn't have to lift up that much to be able to get them out, but when the new ones were going in, there wasn't that much room in there. So anyway, hopefully you found this video helpful. If you do have a Audi A7 or A6 with this 3-liter V6, just check on your motor mounts. Usually around 60,000 miles, they are most likely gone and it's time to replace them. Alright,